In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the margins in a Microsoft Word document. Now the margins are the gap around the edge of the page which we don't print any text in. Now to see it more clearly, I'm just going to change the formatting of this paragraph. It's currently aligned to the left and I'm going to click Fully Justified, and this gives me a nice clean line on the right side of the page as well as on the left. Now it's only been applied to this first paragraph, so I'm going to apply it to all of them by updating my style. Now all of my paragraphs now have that fully justified formatting, so we can see the whole page. So let's just zoom out and we can now see the margin around the edge of the page. Now by default, Microsoft sets the margins in a Word document to 2.5 centimeters. Now to change these is quite easy. We go to Layout and there's a button here under Page Setup called Margins, and there are some examples ready set, but you can set your own by clicking Custom Margins and then choosing how big you want your margin to be. So I'm going to change mine to 1.5 centimeters in each of these. And click OK. And you can see we've now got a smaller margin around the edge of our page. Another way of changing these is to use the rulers. So I'm going to show the ruler by going to View, Ruler, and let's actually just zoom out a little bit. There we are. Now here we can see the ruler for the page, and this grey area is the margin, and it's quite easy to change the margin just by hand. Watch the cursor change as I move in between the grey area and the white area. We get this little arrow and I can move my top margin manually by hand to where I want it to be. Although the problem with this is it's not very precise. I'm sort of guessing at how big that margin will be. And I can do the same in the ruler at the top here. It's a little bit trickier to get the cursor right. It's obviously easier if I move this out of the way, and I can change the margin for the whole document, and then I can move that paragraph margins just back themselves like that. So that's how we can edit the margins using our ruler, but it is much simpler just to go to Layout, go to Margins, Custom Margins, and set them precisely to what you would like them to be. One good example of where you will find margins being changed are when you need to print to letter-headed paper. So if you look at this example on the screen, you can see that there are some built-in margins to the design of this letter-headed paper. I took my ruler out and I measured the margins around the edge. And you can see that the left, the right and the bottom have margins of 1.5 centimeters. But at the top, because it's got the address already there and the name of the company, there's a much larger margin. And I measured this one at 4.5 centimeters. So if we set the margins to 1.5 left, right and bottom and 4.5 at the top, we will get this space where we can write our letter. I can then type in what I would want, and when I print it onto the letter-headed paper, this is what it would look like. So let's go and do that in our word processor. So we're going to go to Layout, Margins, Custom Margins. We're going to set the top to 4.5 centimeters. All the others I'm setting to 1.5, 1.5 and 1.5. Now just be careful, I'm ignoring the gutter. It's only the left, right, bottom and top margins that I'm dealing with. So I set that to 4.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and I click OK. And we now have our margins set ready for printing onto our letter-headed paper.